All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Course Creator Community Podcast. I'm your host, Jono, and I am super excited because we've got an absolute rock star on the line this week. Now, I know I say that about every guest every week, but this person actually is. A little bit about this person. She's a well-being coach and is the CEO and founder of Supernatural Coaching, a leading innovative professional coaching practice that is ahead of the game where self-development is concerned. But most importantly, and why I respect her more than anything, she's a fellow Sydney sider like me. So without further ado, let me introduce up there in the north of Sydney, the one and only Samantha Selby. Sam, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Jono. Thank you for that lovely introduction.
No, I'm excited. We're speaking human design. We had a bit of a conversation before I hit record, and I'm super excited. I'm sure the listeners will find it juicy as well. Just before we dive into it, Sam, let the listeners know a little bit. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do?
Yep. So I am my name is Samantha Selby. I am originally from Manchester, in the colourful suburbs of Manchester.
Wait. Quick question.
Yeah.
United or City?
Uh, if I had to choose, I think it would be United.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. So I have lived in Sydney for the last 14 years. I'm a single mum. I have two daughters. So I'm a well-being coach, and I have a strong focus on supporting families to create more joy and harmony in their home using human design. I also, so my professional background is in project management and business analysis. I like to help people make sense of very complex systems. That's kind of what I'm good at. So I've been able to apply those skills, I guess, to my new kind of calling, which is family well-being coaching. Yeah.
Love it. All right. Human design. Let's start there, Sam, and dumb it right down because before you DM'd me, I had to Google it. I chat GPT'd it to find out what it is. So let us know, maybe firstly, what is human design in general? And then
Yeah.
let's speak about how it could help a course creator or an entrepreneur or a business person.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, it's a combination of Western astrology, the Indian chakra system, or the Hindu chakra system, the Chinese I Ching, the Jewish Kabbalah tree of life, and I've missed one out, and the Chinese I Ching. Yeah, no, I think I've covered all of those, and it's merged with quantum physics and biogenetics. So it basically is a tool that gives you the energy blueprint of who you are and what you came here to do.
Okay.
In a
Juicy.
nutshell.
You got me excited there. How does it help a business person or a course creator?
So it basically helps. It's an awareness tool. So it helps you understand who you are on a very deep level. So I think anyone who is in the entrepreneurial space, a good kind of sense of who you are is really important. And it kind of gives it explains how you can use your life force energy in a way that helps life work for you and flow for you. So it helps you how to make decisions that are correct and aligned for you. And yeah, it kind of explains how you best operate and interface with life and the world. So yeah, I hope that kind of gives a bit of it's a condensed version. Yeah, but
Let's get. Are you able to give us maybe some specific examples there? Maybe either yourself or some of your clients or some people you've worked with, where it's kind of like, here's where they were before. They've done
yeah,
they've done your thing or whatever it is, and then they're like, right, here's your human design, and they've
mm-hmm.
gone off and as a result done yada yada yada.
Yeah, so I'll use myself as an example. So when I first discovered my human design, for me it was really a validation tool of who I was. And I think, I've been living life up until my late 30s, just, just going along and just kind of going with the flow. But then I realized that this is actually, a tool that really explains how we're all different and what our gifts are, what our talents are. And so I used all of that knowledge. It was kind of like having the keys to all of your gifts and really able to kind of use that knowledge to become the full potential of that gift. So, I didn't know that I was a writer. I didn't know that I could write. And so when I realized that that was one of my creative gifts, that's how I've kind of been able to turn this.
Let's go back a step there. Even with that story, Sam, how did you find out about human design? How did you get did you get tested? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah.
That initial, before you even got your result, how did you find out? How did you get, is the word tested? What's the wording you'd say there?
Oh, it's not because some people can mistake it or put it in the same basket as the Myers-Briggs system, which is a self-assessment system.
Yep.
But this is not a self-assessment system. This is based on your birth date, your birth time, and the location that you were born.
So there's no fluff in it, right? It's facts.
That's it. Yeah. So it's your energy blueprint and yeah, it's very specific to you. There's no other person with your blueprint on the planet.
Wait, what were those categories? What were the things?
Do you mean
like the place? What was it? The place of birth, date of birth?
Yes. So the place of birth.
How specific is this? Like, is it Sydney? Is it?
Yeah. So it's
Campbelltown. Is it?
Yeah. So you'd always put the system is that is all kind of based on the search functions are based on the town, but if it doesn't bring up the nearest town, it will be the nearest city.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. And then time is as close to the minute as possible, I'm guessing?
Within a 2-hour window, so plus minus 2 hours, and it will bring up an accurate report. If you don't know your birth time, which many people come back and say, oh, I don't know my birth time, you can contact a Vedic astrologer, or we can look at the blueprint and we can do it over 12 hours and we can bring up all the different blueprints, and then there'll be certain questioning how we can get really specific, because even morning or afternoon would be helpful in the process.
And then what was the third? So place, time, and
the date. And the date you were born.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So sorry, continue.
Yeah. So I came across this system whilst I was in my training for wellbeing coaching. And at the time I was studying a biofrequency device, and I was studying the chakra system. So that kind of really excited me. And I was, really into how energy and our emotions and how to rebalance them using a tool that I also use in my practice. And that's when human design came my way, and I tried it out, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is just the best thing ever.
Spend a minute there, Sam. When you say you tried it out, you plugged those in, you had a textbook. How does that part kind of work?
Yeah, so I pulled up my own chart, and then I started to do some research on what it all meant. Gotcha. So there's lots of different people now. If you type human design into YouTube, there's lots of different people talking about this. It's pretty big in the US, and yeah, once I kind of discovered and thought, oh my gosh, yes, that is me. How can I learn more about this? I then went on a search and found the best, what I deem is the best human design school. It's one of the 2 certifying bodies in human design. So there I went off to human design school and got my qualification to help interpret a chart. And yeah, so
let's spend a minute there as well, because I believe now, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people listening to this that's like, I want to do this thing. How do I do that? How do I find out what mine are? Yeah. You've got that on your website now. Is that right? If someone goes to your website, they can plug in those details and they'll get
Yes.
their, what's the word? Is it a reading? Is it called? Is it chart? What's
Yes, so you can download your free human design chart. It's going to give you the blueprint, and then it's going to ask you, if you don't know human design, then you're going to struggle learning what it is. It's a pretty complex system. So my product is a human design professional reading report. So that's when they can go and purchase their full report, which is the interpretation of their chart and the different layers of their chart. So it goes up to a level 3 reading. So if you were to contact a certified human design practitioner to give you a reading, you'd pay a lot of money to have, to have one-on-one readings, and you'd have to have a couple of sessions to really kind of get an understanding. So that's why I wanted to make this easy, make it super simple, make it fun to learn, and something that is a keepsake. So you have that digital report, something to refer back to. And yeah, there's a workbook tool weaved throughout the whole report as well, which can help you come back into alignment. You can identify where your unbalanced themes or your shadow side, and it kind of helps you to, it helps you become the best version of who you are.
Gotcha. Now let me ask a couple questions with that. So let's
Yeah.
say that initial reading. So let's say someone goes on your website now, they enter their details, they enter their time of birth, date of birth, place of birth, they get the report sent to them. I understand it's going to be hard for that person to kind of read it if they haven't studied human design, but if you could give us like a bit of an indication, what kind of things would that report or reading say?
Yeah, so it's going to give you what your energy type is. So there's 5 different energy types in human design.
What are those?
So it's manifestor. Manifestors are the 9% of the population. There is generators. Generators are around 33 to 35% of the population. There's projectors. They're around 20% of the population. There's reflectors. They're the 1%. They're very rare energy types. And then
can I ask what these are?
Yeah. So and then there's the last one is the manifesting generator. So that is a hybrid of the manifestor and a generator. So they all have unique traits, and they're all here to do different things. So a reflector, for example, they have a very open aura. Basically, it's the mechanics of what your aura is. That's what human design is. It really goes into the mechanics and gives you the all of the codes and how to fully embody your design to become the best authentic version that you are.
So say an example of that. Let's say I do mine. It's like, hey, Jono, you're a reflector or whatever. What is a reflector? What does that mean?
So a reflector means that you're here to, you have a very open aura. So you're here to sample energies of the collective, and you are here to, so they're usually very wise. They're very
definitely
good.
Not me then. There goes my chance of being a reflector.
They're very good listeners, and they're here to reflect back the wisdom and the health of their community.
Gotcha.
So when people realize that they are a reflector, they kind of go through life thinking that there's something wrong with them. They can be very sensitive beings. They don't have a lot of energy. They kind of look at the rest of their peers or their family or their community, and they think, why don't I have the same energy? And it's because they're not designed to actually go out and hustle and do work like everybody else. So it can be a real relief for people to understand how they're designed. I've had a couple of projectors who
are these the surfers? Are these the surfers in Australia in the northern beaches? Are they all the reflectors?
That's funny. So I've had people who have they've got so much insight, and they've actually called me crying and going, oh my gosh, you have just explained my life. I didn't know, like, it gives you a language to explain, who you, like the subtle nuances of your personality. I'm trying to kind of explain it in a way without going down the rabbit hole.
That's okay. No, that gives me enough there. Let me just, so I get my head around, say maybe another one. Say the manifester. What's like an overview? What would a manifester be?
Yeah, so the manifestors are very, they're the initiators. So they're here to initiate their ideas. They're very creative.
Gotcha.
Do you know what? I'm going to give you an analogy that I use when I was doing the Wellbeing Festival in Sydney. I gave this analogy. So the manifestors, say you're building a house, right? You're building a house. The manifestor is like the architect. Yeah, they're gonna come up with all these creative ideas, and they're going to design the house. But the manifestor isn't here to actually do the physical labor. So then he would give them
I'm
the
definitely
plan.
the manifestor then.
Be interested to find out what you are. So
Oh,
you'd
I'm
have to
signing up straight
definitely.
after this. Yeah.
The generators and the manifesting generators are here to actually build the property, right? The manifesting generators, and the generators work together, and they're going to build the house. The projectors are like the foreman, the guy who comes in and checks all, like, they're going to best guide everybody of how to, the tiler comes in and, oh, you can't do the tiling until the plaster has been. They're kind of here to guide the whole project. And then the reflectors, they're like, I describe them as, they're the buyers. They're gonna be the customers who, and they're gonna kind of sample them and really enjoy the property. That's kind of the energy type. So if you're a manifester, you have all of these great ideas, but you don't always necessarily have the energy force to carry that project through. So they're usually, so the manifestors back in the day were like the lawmakers. They have a very, manifestors are quite powerful, so they can kind of go through life not giving a shit, just kind of, everybody get out of my way. This is it. This is it.
I don't think I need to do this test, actually. I think you've described.
Yeah, but I don't want to generalize, like,
So I guess a follow-up question from there. Let's say someone wants to create an online course, or they are already an online course creator. They they get their human design read. They get the report. They purchase your product to read more about them. Is it like, hey, if you're this specific design of person, you shouldn't be a course creator? Or is it more like...
No, it would never give you that.
Gotcha.
It would never give you that information. It would only highlight all of your, gifts, your talents. And it really kind of gives, when you go into, so the energy types are just one part of it, right?
Gotcha.
The second part is the strategy, and you have a strategy that you can follow. And so if you really want to experiment with your design, you follow your strategy. So for example, I'm a manifesting generator, so I'm a hybrid. So my strategy is to envision. Like you're going to think of something, and then you kind of wait for the universe to kind of go, oh, and people, like, when you talk about this, it all seems a bit woo-woo, but you kind of know that's kind of what happens. Like, you'd be thinking something and you'd be like, oh my gosh, that's just kind of come into my life. Maybe that's a sign that I should follow that. That's the strategy of a manifesting generator. It's to envision and then respond to what the universe brings in response to that. So it would never say.
So say, what would let's say then the course creator gets their reading. What do they, I guess, how do they then implement that to help them be? Would it help them be a more successful business person, or would it more be like a happier life, or both? What are they like?
Both. You can apply it to all areas of your life. You can apply it to your just self-awareness. I mean, that's where we all kind of need to start if we if we want to be a healthier, happier person, I think research shows that when we know who we are, we can go through life, and it just kind of, we have boundaries, and it helps us kind of in our relationships. When we don't really know who we are, we kind of flip-flop around life, and it's like, what am I meant to be doing? So it really kind of gets clear on your life purpose, and yeah, it can help your relationships, it can help your career, your own self well-being. You can apply it to parenting. So I have a children's report as well. And it really helps you understand how you've been conditioned away from who you really are. So it's how you're perceived in the world. You could, a lot of people feel very misunderstood. And so it kind of goes into the psychology of your unbalanced themes. So if you have the G center, that center defined or undefined, there'll be different behaviors that you display. And it's so accurate. You'll be like, oh, that's me. That's what I do. And so it explains to you the shadow side, and then the highest potential. And then you've got to make a choice of how you're going to behave in life and the decisions that you make, because we all have the power to create a life that we deserve and we desire. But a lot of people think that we're just a lump of meat, and we got to do what people say and what our parents say we should have done, what the government thinks. No, we're not. We're here to create our own reality. And that's kind of where it helps you get really clear on that.
Gotcha. It gives me an idea. Tell me a bit more specifically about your product, Sam. Like, how'd you put it together? How does it work? So let's go the next step. So someone, they've gone to your website, they've entered in their details, they get their human design report, it looks interesting, but they're like, all right, I don't know what the crap to do with this, so I'm going to go and purchase Sam's program. What is it? What does it include? How'd you put it together? Tell us about that.
Yeah. So when I started to do human design readings, I was finding that the people that were coming to my wellbeing practice, they just loved the idea of it. And then we'd sit down, I'd run their chart, and then I'd start talking about it. And then they'd be like, how am I going to remember all of that? And also, a lot of the people who were coming to me were in emotional and mental pain, or they were going through some kind of life cycle crisis. So when you're in that kind of space, you've not really got a lot of headspace or capacity to remember all of this stuff. So that's why I thought, okay, how can I make this information into some kind of written format? And I'm not the only one who has done reading reports. There's other human design coaches out there, but I believe I'm the only person who is using the software. And so what I did was, initially I went and got an off-the-shelf software, and then I configured it to pull all of the data in. But that was creating a lot of manual work. But when I did the Wellbeing Festival, I had a really, really good response, and people were purchasing their report, but I needed it to be automated. And so I reached out to a developer I think it was about 18 months ago. It was a developer in the UK. And I said, look, I know you do these human design, and I know you embed the form into people's websites. This is what I'm thinking. Can you help me with this? And he gave me a quote. And so it was kind of a bespoke service that I wanted. But because of my background knowledge in project management and IT systems and business analysis, I kind of knew that I knew kind of what I wanted and how to explain that to him. So he came back and he said, look, it's going to cost you this amount of money. And I was like, I just didn't have the money at the time. So I was kind of just doing this with the off-the-shelf product. But then he came back to me and he said, look, I have built this system. I've done it, but I'm not going to sell it to you. I'm actually going to sell it to other human design coaches as well. So I was like, okay, sign me. He said, do you want to beta test it? So I was like, yeah, of course I will. So that's kind of when I transferred and migrated all of the information into this new software. I was playing around with it. I was going back and forth with him saying, tweak this, tweak that, do. And so over the last 18 months, everything now is migrated. And then I had all of my copy. It's been under the gentle scrutiny of the human design gurus. So my mentor, Karen Curry Parker, she has her own publishing house. So they've copywritten and, that's kind of all. So it's a finished product now. So all you do is you go online, you download your chart. You can download that for free. It's just a PDF. But then if you want to purchase your report, it'll then come up, do you want the adult report or the child report? So so that's kind of it now.
What is the adult and child? Does that depend if you're an adult or a child? What's the difference with those two?
Yeah, so it's a big thing now that people are wanting to parent their children according to their blueprint, because when you do that, it's preventing conditioning, right?
Wait, hold on, Sam. Like, say, if I'm parenting my kids, do I parent them under mine or do I parent them under theirs?
They have their own unique blueprint. So you would,
parent under theirs.
Yeah. So for me, when I discovered my 11-year-old, she's 11 now, but at the time she was 8, that was at the time, because I'd separated from my ex-partner. She was going through a really difficult time. Her anxiety was, experiencing a lot of anxiety. And then, we were going through a lot of different counselors and child psychologists, and they just was not giving me the kind of information that I didn't already know, because, one of my special interests is children's well-being. And so when I saw what her profile was in her design, that's when it kind of, I just felt like it was that's how I need to start parenting. And I've got to stop trying to fix or, just fluff around this. I've got to it just gave me a lot of clues, and she's a different child now, completely different child. So for me, I get really excited to give a parent their child's blueprint. And with my youngest child, I just thought, oh my God, I've done it all wrong. I've been doing all of this wrong. So it just is a really nice way to help your family dynamics, the energy in your home. When that flows right, everybody's happy, and so that's the children's reports.
Gotcha. Now, can we talk prices? We obviously that's, I guess, question one. It might change by the time someone's listening to this and whatnot, but is that something you're comfortable speaking about on here?
Yeah.
How much is your report? How much does it usually cost if someone was to see it? Let us know a bit about that.
Yeah. So if you were to have a one-on-one reading with a human design, with a certified human design practitioner, you would be paying I charge $285 for a reading. So you'd have to have a couple of readings to really kind of get into understanding your design and how to embody it and how to live it. So I go up to a level 3 in the reports. So I'm charging $99 US.
Sounds like a steal.
Yeah, it is. I want to make it affordable for people, because I believe that this product could save the world. I think if everybody understands how they're designed, they can understand that somebody else has a completely different design, and they don't need to take things personally. They just stay in your own lane and just, concentrate on your own, creating your own life and all of that. So it's a great well-being tool, I think, and that's why I wanted to make it affordable. So the adult reports are $99 US, and the children's reports are $67 US.
Nice.
Yeah. So usually my market, or the human design market, is 75% female. So usually if mom comes and purchases her report, she goes, oh, I'm going to get dad's report. I'm going to get the kids' report as well.
Yep.
And when when mom and dad know their children's report and they know each other's report, you go, oh, you don't do that just to drive me insane. You do that because you're actually hardwired, and I've been reacting to this behavior that you show, and it's actually just part of your design. And maybe I should just kind of not react and respond and, focus on myself and not kind of get triggered by that. So it's a really good kind of relationship tool as well. Like it's and it makes a really nice gift for somebody because it's so personalized and it's so unique.
Yeah, well, it's Easter coming up over here. I think I know my Easter gifts.
Yeah.
And Sam, I believe you've got an affiliate program for this as well. If someone does, they take it themselves, they're like, this is great, this is awesome, it's changed my life. You've got an affiliate program too?
Yes, I do. Yes. So if you are a health and well-being practitioner, if you are into energy clearing, or you're, a spiritual entrepreneur, if you're kind of into self-development, I have an affiliate program where I can give you the link, and then you just what an affiliate kind of, you create content around that, and then I'll give you I think it's a 30% discount. I'm giving, a 30% kickback for anybody who wants to share this product. And yeah, I've got I can send out a collaboration kit. It explains the whole system. I have a presentation in there. Happy to talk about how this can fit in with, your existing business model. And I also give the email addresses of the people that have purchased the report, because then if they want to then upsell their product or their course, they can do that. So you don't have to be a human design practitioner to understand this. In fact, what's happening is the health practitioners who have taken this as an affiliate, they're using this as a complementary tool to help their clients. So, just setting them homework, and so that's the affiliate program.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's given me a better idea of what human design is, Sam. Sure, there's going to be a lot of people listening this that are going to go to your website and download the report straight away. It's also going to be a lot of people that are like, well, download the report, or maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I like this woman. I like the idea of human design. I want to follow her. I want to, stay on top of her journey. Where do we go if we want to follow you?
Yeah, so I have an Instagram account. I have a Facebook account. You can. I have a Pinterest account now. I'm still kind of building that. You can. I'll give you all the details for my website. I have a free e-guide that you can download, and you can read through that, get the science behind it, all of that, and you can. I can also give you as a discount. I can create a discount code.
Please
for all
do.
for all the viewers. I'll create that, and then you can maybe put that in your show notes.
Sounds good. Awesome. All right, Sam.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I wanted to get through today.
Yeah.
Is there anything I should have asked you but forgot to, or anything you wanted to finish us off with?
I guess for me, being an entrepreneur and building, I think what we forget sometimes is, or what, people don't mention is, when you go on the online space, it's all, 6-figure coaches doing all this, but, most of us have got families. Like we all kind of have, we've got our personal, emotional things and mental things that we need to. So this for me was a really good tool where I could really discover who I was and really get the dynamics of my family back into balance. And that made me then, it made things flow for me, and it made my business, I was really able to discover my unique gifts, and it just kind of highlighted and illuminated all that for me. So I just, I love it. I'm very passionate about it, and I hope your viewers will love it and the listeners will love it too.
Awesome.
That's it.
All right, Sam, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jono.